So the next actually item, an export that is really interesting and practical, of course, item in here, it is convert URLs. So it is really interesting. Actually, in Revit, actually, you're aware that you're able to refer some files, or maybe you refer some links. As an example, let me select on this ceiling, and let's go on into edit type, and let's go into URL. I will be able to assign a kind of URL. Maybe it is a kind of AutoCAD file, or for example, Revit file. Maybe it is PDF, Word, picture, or site. Yeah, as an example, let me just go on URL, and for example, let's go into DWG, for example, the ceiling detail. Let's assign it to that. So let me copy this path, and for example, we have it in the directional path in here. Let me add it into here, because for sure it must have actually suffix and the name of that file. So let's add it into URL. Let's right click, new, and let's create a kind of word, for example, column info, and inside it actually you might have, for example, the table for calculation of the beam, column, or everything else. Let me type test and save it. And again, actually, I just will go suffix with this path actually, and let's add it here that I'm able to copy all of it. And let's go in here, and let's go for these columns, edit URL, and again let's add them into here. So click on OK, and like this till the end we can continue. Of course, even actually we are able to go into manage, and for example we can create some or add some custom for example parameters in here. For example, I can click on it, URL1, let's set it on all URL. Let's just set it on instance, and again, for example, URL2, and it is URL all, and let's click on OK. So right now, of course, the beams will be selected. Right click, all of the beams are selected in here, and for example in here URL1 and 2, of course, as an example, autodesk.com, or the next one, for instance, www. for example, udemy.com. Let's apply it, and I'm able to go for the column because I've assigned a kind of URL for it before. We can just add another amount in here to see what kind of reaction it has. So if right now I will go into NW or export out NWC, and I activate this item in here, and let's click on OK. And for example, the exporting will be done, and the URL will be transported for us. So those ones that are links, they will be links and other things. So it was done. Let's go into here, and for example, let's click on refresh. The URLs are in here. For example, to see them, you have to go into display and activate link. You see, it will be like this. They've got added into here. If you click on it, you will have actually the file that is opened, the DWG file that was related to deck separately. It will be open. We will wait that this file is open to us, and as you can see, this file got opened, for example, exactly for us. Let me close this file that it was open because I had separated that from another one. So another file, let's go in here. You see that the Word file will be opened, for example, and as you can see, if you click on, for example, deck, the DWG file will be open. It's really helpful for us. So let's return to Navisworks in here. Some of these elements actually had two linked files, for example, for beams. Yes. Let's go in here. So, and for example, an element, of course, the parameter of custom, first that we had that as a common instance to transportation, of course, is really interesting point, of course. we have to activate this item. Separate custom properties. If you activate it, for example, the parameters that are in custom that we make and create them in here, for example, in Navisworks, in properties, we will have it on the tab of custom, and it's really interesting. So it is really practical thing that, for example, it got added into version Navisworks 2023, and it's really nice. Let's click on refresh. Right now, let's click on it. If you pay attention in custom, actually, we have the links actually in here, and by clicking of them, the websites will be opened. So it's really valuable feature in here that you will be able that, for example, you can assign all of the file format, hyperlinks, and everything to elements as it can the URL that you're going to have them in Navisworks if you activate that, of course. For example, I don't know, checking of the details and 2D the designings next to the 3D, they will be really helpful.